Gentlemen, the world braces for fiat collapse on this windy day in Maui. Booyah. God bless you. Time is running out, September 25th, 2025. And again, if you're just coming into this video, world braces, Americans brace for fiat collapse. This is a worldwide systemic shutdown event. Please like and share as promised. If you're following me on X, you get everything first for free. Do me a favor and help me crush over 110K followers. I also put out a really cool, just kind of fun video that I encourage you to watch. General Greene Productions presenting Illuminating Love. This is the video. Check it out. You can watch it for free. It's amazing. And as promised, I will deliver this video succinctly and calmly today, so you can all get ready for the fiat implosion here in the United States and worldwide. Donald Trump, of course, is about to declare an emergency executive order very soon on the heels of top commanders and generals in the United States meeting in an unprecedented event. This includes all military, naval, space force leadership. This is sowing massive alarm as the Navy is preparing for 7,500-mile thermonuclear weapons test. Let's get into this for a moment, then we'll talk about money, crypto, what's going on in the news today, how to profit from all of this. You know, I remember when I first moved to Maui, I was with my boy. You know who my boy is? My boy Blue Donut Factory. And we were in Maui. We were escaping, of course, the pre-lockdown event, which we predicted here at AMTV. I told everybody worldwide that there would be massive lockdowns, pandemonium, and a huge panic that was about to hit. Of course, since we already knew that was going to happen, we fled the mainland. And I remember waking up one beautiful morning and taking a look at Bitcoin. Bitcoin was down huge. It was trading at about 3,500. Woke up, hair was all kind of a mess. I'm like, hey, Donut. I'm like, bro, check this out. I said, either this goes to zero or we're about to get really, really, really rich. Click, buy orders. I flood in, take massive positions. Well, we all know what happened next. Again, Bitcoin now still trading above 100,000. We'll be trading, I believe, by year end, somewhere in the ballpark of 2 to 400K. USD equivalent. It's also important to note that we're going to stop measuring Bitcoin in US dollars. Understand that all real assets can be denominated in any currency. This is something a lot of people don't understand, but things like gold, silver, real estate that we own with no bank debt, here at Island Project, all my beautiful founders, worldwide, Deck 2, launch imminent. Make sure you RSVP for that. Link below. Contact my father, and all physical real stuff will just be priced in the new stable coins. But the dollars themselves will continue to collapse because they're not worth anything. I'll talk about all this in a moment, okay, because there's extreme volatility. Of course, expect a lot of volatility. And this is what we predicted. Again, it's not going to be, an easy slope up only, knowing the fact that Donald Trump is about to shut down the stock market for a few days, as he will be declaring a pause on Wall Street. This will shake Americans to the core, and then, of course, reset us through capital controls, as my friend Ray Dalio, friend of mine and billionaire, has been warning. We're entering very dark times ahead. But I'm here to actually tell you and bring hope. Again, as Christians, we know God is in complete control. We put our faith in him, and love will always illuminate the darkness. So understand there's good things coming, guys. This truly is the up-only golden age. We're going to talk about that because most of the social media you consume is not just propaganda and lies, but really is a cesspool. And you shouldn't pay much attention to it. First, this is according to the Jeff Bezos-owned Washington Post. Of course, Jeff Bezos and the oligarchs, similarly to when Russia collapsed, the USSR collapsed, the insiders piecemealed the last remnants of the carcass of the empire before collapse. And so all of our oligarchs here in the United States of America, which own media, they own the food supply, they own those companies I'm not allowed to talk about, they own, commerce, they've taken out small, medium-sized businesses. Notice all these companies run full-blown oligopolies now without any intervention. So it's not too dissimilar as to what we saw with the USSR. During its collapse, the ferocious vampires piecemeal the last of the dead birds, so to speak, the American empire, its collapsed currency, its egregious drunken sailor $42 trillion debt that's never going to be paid back. And that's when the insiders grab the last of the resources, of course, before they reset the system and destroy not just the middle class, but the rest of the country, which is what is happening now. Now, as this fiat implosion continues, which is why gold is a canary in the coal mine, Bitcoin is a canary in the coal mine, you need to be aggressively buying more, sticking with your asset allocation, of course. But the elites are also planning to send your kids and grandkids to fight a new world war on their behalf. Now, keep in mind, they will all be cozy in their mansions back in Washington, D.C. or overseas during the chaos. But they're going to send your kids, if you allow your kids and grandkids to be sent by these dirty, Kabbalistic, satanic demons. Hegseth has ordered a rare and extremely emergency urgent meeting of hundreds of generals and admirals. This is raising alarm all over the world, most notably in China, also Russia, Ukraine. China, of course, eyeing its takeover of Taiwan, which I expect that attack and invasion to start imminently to take control of the semiconductor trade. This is why Donald Trump, thankfully, has launched numerous measures to counterbalance that risk, as there's a monopoly with Taiwanese semiconductor production in that region, which is why we're bringing a lot of it back home to, again, build the new stablecoin, Bitcoin blockchain empire of the tokenization revolution I've been telling you about all these decades. Hundreds of U.S. military generals and admirals are now gathering in very secretive meetings, and they're not stating their reason. At a Marine Corps base, top secret, locked down base in Virginia next week, they will be basically road mapping the plan for war. How they're, of course, going to convince through all the spy campaigns, the massive propaganda they control, like they did with the lockdowns, how to send and convince the American people that war is needed. Now, of course, this will be on the backdrop of a massive fiat currency collapse, but that'll provide their excuse again for the war that they had already pre-planned in advance. Also, a massive government shutdown is ahead. Our useless, what many believe to be criminal politicians, both Republicans and Democrats, will be squabbling over a government shutdown once again. These people are so negligently criminal that not only have they spent all of the money of U.S. taxpayers and, of course, bailed themselves out into infinity, but they even fake an argument before they just print even more debt. So we've seen this many times before. We know it'll be in the headlines, but both Republicans and Democrats will simply, because they're really no different, are just going to print more debt, fully collapsing the United States currency and the petrodollar further. The U.S. Navy puts on a light show with a 7,500-mile thermonuclear weapon test. This is breaking multiple Trident D2 ballistics. I'll show you this. It always shows the camera in reverse. 7,500 mile thermonuclear weapon test. Multiple Trident II D5 ballistic missiles were fired off the coast of Florida earlier this morning into the Atlantic Ocean. No, it wasn't Starlink. It was your military. Again, most of the satellites they're putting in your sky are for military use, getting prepped for these space wars and also the electromagnetic frequency events, such as what governments and leaders are very worried about. Read the book 1 Second After, for example, which includes electromagnetic pulses and other spectrum type events that, of course, will more than likely be an inside job by your own government. Again, we saw this back in Germany with the lighting on fire of the Reichstag building, which was done by the insiders that then pointed the finger to get the war started. So just understand all that. Also, a lot of you have been asking me, I hate to bring it up, but I do want to address it. A lot of you have been asking me, hey, Christopher, Elon Musk said that Donald Trump was on the Epstein list a couple of weeks ago. Remember when he came on camera and he was tweeting on his X account? He said that Trump was on the Epstein list and needed to be forcefully replaced by his top pick, J.D. Vance, who, of course, works for Peter Thiel and Elon and the PayPal mafia. And a lot of you have asked, why hasn't there been any follow-up to that? Because Elon accused these dastardly accusations of the most powerful man in the world, Donald Trump, even called for his impeachment, yet we saw them shaking hands the other day at the Charlie Kirk rally. I mean, that doesn't really make any sense, does it? To be honest with you guys, I don't know. I mean, obviously Elon Musk has deep state insider information he must know. So why he has not unearthed any more of the files, I have no idea. Of course, he has the power to do that. I don't know if Elon has been threatened. That's a possibility. But of course, he was aggressively calling for Trump's impeachment and forceful removal to be replaced by J.D. Vance, in addition to all those very big threats that he stated on his X profile. I don't know, guys. Again, this is a very, very slippery slope. America's in chaos, and that's just the truth. It's been in chaos for a very, very long time. So these ballistic missile fires, which I did see off the coast of La Jolla when I was there recently before the attack on Iran nuclear facilities, because again, the whole country's at war, and soon to be world war, I suspect is a show of force ahead of the pre-planned events that, of course, the United States government and black ops will be taking people to very, very soon. Also, as a part of the space war, there was a hybrid attack earlier today, sparking World War III, what I call World War IV tensions. World War III was the lockdowns. Just a lot of people don't know that yet. World War IV is these space wars. Denmark is actively considering pulling the trigger on Article 4, instituting and bringing NATO, North Atlantic Treaty Organization, into a giant full-scale worldwide battle after a, quote, hybrid drone attack above its airports. Light-emitting UFOs were seen flying away from airport as drone disrupts flights in Denmark. So they're considering triggering Article 4. I do want to comment, we noticed Donald Trump at the UN. Man, I'm praying for this guy so much. Did you see how him and his wife, they turned off the escalators and we almost, God forbid, pray against it, had another Butler, Pennsylvania. Did you notice that? He was going up the elevators and then the deep state turned off the elevator. And so they were just there like sitting ducks. I mean, God forbid, we can only imagine, as Donald Trump, of course, has survived multiple treacherous attacks and 2 attempts on his life already, not to mention the brutal public assassination of Charlie Kirk, who was obviously ruffling the feathers of the deep state a little bit too much. Again, a lot of you have been asking, so I will address it. You've asked, Christopher, how come there's been no more information follow-up on the alleged lone wolf assassin of Charlie Kirk? How come How come the agencies haven't, brought any more information to the public or explained maybe what his motive was or given us any more details? Keep in mind that the FBI didn't know, supposedly, who the assassin was. They couldn't find him. It's kind of like Where's Waldo after the event. None of these giant spy apparatus was able to locate the alleged culprit. It was actually his dad that brought him into the authorities. Again, guys, I have my own opinions. I don't know. The world's in chaos. I mean, JFK was taken out too. I don't know what you want me to tell you. Your government is an untrustworthy sack of crap. So I don't know what you want me to tell you. Again, I'm not a citizen, okay, of this world. I'm a citizen of God. Okay, I serve Jesus Christ the King only. God the Father and the Holy Spirit. So I don't identify with this world at all. Okay, our only hope is in Jesus. That is our only hope. So the world is basically just becoming a crap stain and absolutely going the wrong direction. Now, also, Peter Thiel has launched a series of speaking events on the Antichrist. So that's going on out in San Francisco. So speaking to the topics of the world-ending events, he should know he's an insider. Again, I've read all Peter's books. He's a very hyper-intelligent man. I think he's really a genius. His business acumen is by far, and of course, his deep state insider intel, as he provides much of the deep state intel, of course, for the U.S. government. So the fact that he is clearly actively engaged in speaking about the Antichrist and how the AI will hasten it into the American public through biologicals, brain implants from his friend Elon with Neuralink and, of course, Gates' Synchron, and the soft glasses that Mark Zuckerberg is rolling out as preconditioning for the mark, that he would be on that topic. It makes absolute sense. So things are getting really, really dicey out there. And of course, do not be in fear. Understand that the elites control you by fear. Again, locking you in your house in 2020 and closing your business was a control mechanism to roll out the logistical weapon for what's going on now. Collapse the dollar, destroy your country, destroy fiat currencies, blow up the stock market, take your 401ks on leverage and debt and these fake securities that Wall Street trades back and forth, the criminal hedge fund managers and BlackRock, blow all that down to zero, then declare capital controls, and then, of course, reinstate everything with the new stablecoin, crypto, Bitcoin hegemony. Also, I did want to update you that China, as I predicted, is launching gold-backed stablecoins. Another reason why the East is, well, arguably not only winning at this point, unless Donald Trump does something soon, which I think he will, but they're moving to a whole new blockchain system themselves. I mean, honestly, I'm waiting for Donald Trump to make some big announcements. I did see he made a big one, though, earlier this morning as all of this is imploding on the backdrop. The White House did put in some really new, amazing marble floors. So that was the announcement we got from Donald Trump earlier. He's tricking out the White House like his crib. I'll show you a picture. I mean, they really are fabulous. Let's take a look at this. All beautiful, gorgeous marble. I don't know if you can see this, but there was no news on anything else as the world's imploding, but we got new marble floors. Again, guys, I'm being kind of facetious here today, but I'm kind of making a point that the American people are really focused on the wrong things. They have no idea what's about to happen. The U.S. criminal government and the U.S. criminal central bank is about to blow up the entire world. Let it sink in for a moment. Okay, my predictions of bank runs and capital controls in this country are not hyperbole. And there's a reason why we built life, limb with guts and balls and diamond nuts, the #1 asset in the world, because this is the safest and number one investment in the world. Doesn't have any bank debt. I want to encourage you for a moment, because this is the most important thing you could possibly do today, is not only RSVP with my father at 808-442-2934, but also to get ahead of the curve. We, of course, closed our founders round, but to quickly RSVP at islandproject.com, just fill out an app, but don't fund yet. Fill out an app at the Buy Now button here. Enter your units, okay? Get your units in so we got your information and we can reach out. I'm going to be on emergency phone calls really from now all the way through the weekend. I'm blessed with a fantastic team. And we will be declaring not only continued war against the deep state, but as we've built these safe havens with no bank debt into these hyperinflationary, hyper-appreciating assets, beach, oceanfront homes, of course, which only go up. I mean, this is what all the billionaires are competing for. Jeff Bezos bought all of La Perouse in South Maui. Mark Zuckerberg pretty much took over North Shore Kauai. Teal owns large portions of South Maui as well. Ellison, of course, now richest man in the world, owns all of Lanai. So what we own, I mean, this is the precious billionaire's paradise. These are the yachts. They only go up. You're welcome. So make sure you make your reservation, because I'm going to be making we're launching imminently is what I'm telling you. Now's the time to RSVP. Do that at the link below at islandproject.com, so that when I make the announcement, you're the first to get in and you assure you actually get in. Again, we're not going to be able to allow everybody in. I've done my best. We did really an incredible, extraordinary job, but just understand not everybody can get in. Let's talk about crypto here for a moment. All the insider elites have been, of course, tipped off. Your criminal politicians sold all their stocks prior to the lockdowns that they instituted. That was an inside job tip-off. Most of the congressmen and women and senators are actually on record. This is all fact. They front ran the American people, sold all their stocks right before they declared the lockdowns. I remind you, there was no repercussions for any of that. All of them got away with it. Folks, again, the easiest thing for you to do is just not comply. If you don't comply, you're going to get very rich, you're going to be much happier, and it's just going to be up only. You need to take my advice. Do not comply. It's not hard. You just say no. Again, when the lockdowns hit, no complying, right? When they told you to take the thing, you just go, yeah, I'll pass on that. It's really that easy. You don't even have to pick up a musket. Just don't comply, move your money out of the banks, and then buy real stuff with us and get rich. It's that easy. Again, every recommendation I've ever put out to the American public, from gold, which is at a new record high, I've sold gold, literally professionally for decades. You're welcome. And silver, hitting new all-time highs, Bitcoin, new all-time highs, and real estate, new all-time highs, and Palantir stock, new all-time highs. Now, this is why it is extremely important, and I'm glad I had a lot of calls with you all over the last few months, because I positioned all of you with my emergency video at school, which you need to watch, to create a very strict asset allocation. Again, you never want to trade leverage. You want most of your portfolio in the big, large cap assets. You want to be buying more Bitcoin and Ethereum. A day like today is a great day to do that, to increase those positions, okay, in those large caps. And then basically you're just going to want to hold that. You've seen nothing yet. The deep state elites, as they blow up the old modern, the current financial system, and we are introduced to the new modern financial system, are going to take crypto and blockchain to records you've never even seen before in your entire lives. I mean, just to give you an example of this, Aster, which is a brainchild of CZ Binance, was up like something crazy. It was up like 3,000% in the last week. So those are the type of opportunities in crypto right now that you may be missing simply because you're just not in. Again, trusting your own government is the dumbest, worst idea that you could ever have, and will guarantee you're broke and a slave. The government's going to roll out universal basic poverty non-income soon. This is going to be a very hyperinflationary digital breadline, much like we had in the 1930s when they inside jobbed the 1929 stock market crash. Nothing's changed. We're just in the digital age. So what do I think's going on in crypto? Just in my, astute opinion, is that I believe Wall Street is shaking out the over-levered longs right now. There's a lot of big firms. There's a lot of people, and you should never do this. Don't trade any leverage. But there's a lot of companies margined in the crypto space. So the cabal always likes to kind of shake those people out before they take it to new all-time highs. For example, Aster and some of these new blockchains like Hyperliquid, et cetera, they're all like leveraged plays. They're all leveraged markets. So they're just shaking that out, which Wall Street likes to do before they take it up only. Again, they did the same thing in 2008 and 09. The goal was to rip off all the American people. And then after they were broke, bankrupt, and destitute, and they foreclosed on your house, they then were going to pump on your face for the next 20 years. And that's exactly what they did. So there's always these big shakeouts before they pump it for themselves. Now keep in mind, BlackRock, the deep state, Wall Street, and all the hedge fund managers own all this stuff. And they're also deeply connected with the government. They also have infinite money from the central bank, printed from nothing, from your taxpayer funds. And they also are granted infinite bailouts, which means that they can never fail. It's a good position to be in. BlackRock, for example, met with Michael Saylor during the last bear market before they started buying. That was when they were telling you it was a scam. So keep in mind, BlackRock was telling the American public Bitcoin was a scam while they were buying your bags. See, that's how criminal they are. They really do hate you. All right, let's go through a couple more news developments. Again, it's not all bad news. The good news is, as fiat dollars burn, as the U.S. system collapses, is Hegseth, our top generals, admirals, and commanders meet in preparation for World War. As the U.S. Navy launches 7,500-mile thermonuclear weapons, and as there is, wow, this is new too, a fleet patrolling the Caribbean. Let's get into that. And as foreign actor drones hover over the Denmark airport skies, and World War IV, because it's not III. Again, lockdowns were World War III. Tensions rise. And Americans, live through the Civil War and the God forbid, just continued heinous events. Guys, America's a banana republic at this point. It's a complete banana republic. We saw what happened to Charlie Kirk. Banana republic. We saw what happened yesterday with ICE. Banana republic. You see what's happening with the dollar, straight down. Banana republic. But the good news is, as this Zimbabwe-esque USSR, Argentine peso-style turd collapse ensues, more Americans exit the system. Most Americans no longer trust their government, and they lost all the trust in the government in 2020 after those series of events. Most Americans lost all faith and trust in dollars, of course, in 2008-09 after the bailouts. So the good news is not many people are playing ball anymore. And that's awesome. I speak with a lot of individuals from around the world, a lot of expats. Living in Hawaii is kind of like living in another country with still the same benefits of America, kind of. But it's really like its own country. But I meet a lot of expats that travel all over the world on their way through to the rest of Asia. And so many people are fleeing the country now, it's ridiculous. Like, a lot of people are getting out. And I want you to understand that that is key to your survival. Island Project's international diversification. I'll be making major announcements in Thailand, Bali, Tokyo, Dubai, Singapore. The list goes on, is key to our portfolio diversification. Not only do you want to own assets out of the United States, but you also want to be considering second, third, Plan B, Plan C passports, because you want to do what the billionaire elite class does. You want to keep your options open. You know, Ray Dalio, my friend, he's a really great guy, behind closed doors, said something the other day that should absolutely make you want to piss your pants. So let me read this to you, or at least put a diaper on before you do it. This is from Fortune magazine. Ray Dalio warns we are headed into the darkest of times in America. Quote, we're heading into very, very, very dark times. You know, kind of like the Dark Ages. And says the solution comes from a Chinese proverb, quote, a smart rabbit has 3 holes. Here he is. He's a wonderful man, billionaire. He's made most of his money as a financial manager, very astute. I'm close to him. And at Bridgewater and Associates, he's done an incredible job, written some great educational books. I encourage you to read as well. What is Ray telling you? Well, Ray's telling you the exact same thing I've been telling you. Not only to buy Bitcoin, he's a huge fan of Bitcoin. I was the one in his ear in earlier years, getting him so he would understand what Bitcoin was, along with Trump. Keep in mind, Trump thought Bitcoin sounded like a scam, but yours truly, you're welcome. I educated him. And we saw how he realized and learned that, yep, Christopher's right. Bitcoin is the new gold standard. But what Ray is saying here, a smart rabbit has 3 holes. That means you want to keep your options diversified. It means you want your money out of the banks and you want to own real physical stuff. And you don't want to just own it in one location. You see, a big part of what Deck 2 is doing, and the Founders Round, is internationally diversifying our private, exclusive, Christian, safe haven community, which, by the way, is tokenizing next year, first quarter 2026, going to make all you millionaires that are in islandproject.com, Founders and Deck 2, which is why you need to get in. Has built an internationally diversified, smart rabbit has 3 holes, Chinese proverb. Because we already know what's going to happen next. Like, again, guys, none of this is a surprise. I told you. The digital Noah's Ark was built for this moment. You know, I'm dressed in all white today because I saw a bird earlier this morning. A big white egret, just kind of flapping his wings. And it was a sign from God. It was a sign from God. Not only is Deck 2 launching, okay? Get in, RSVP at islandproject.com, text RSVP 808-442-2934, but it also told me that it's time to get your umbrella out. Again, the digital Noah's Ark, registered trademark here of General Greene and my amazing members, and of course our multi-billion-dollar Yacht Master 2 platform with no bank debt, was built for the storm. So just understand, we're not surprised about the fact that America's collapsing and its currency's going to zero, or that Americans are going to lose all their money in their 401ks or anything like that. That's why they've been rolling them over so they're safe here at islandproject.com. None of this stuff is a surprise, and it's not a surprise Bitcoin's at all-time highs. And when I was aggressively buying with Donut Factory at 3,500 in 2020, I knew that it would be trading well above 100K. Again, you've heard my testimonials. In fact, I do want to welcome, on a positive note, as we position for the 1000X up only, I do want to welcome the guards. Staying at our new $6 million Mauna Kea penthouse estate. I know you guys are enjoying it, and I know it's going to blow your mind because you've already been at multiple of our properties. You've seen how amazing those are, and Mauna Kea is at a whole new level. Am I right or am I right? Of course I'm right. By the way, for those of you that don't know, Hapuna Beach, where we own our mega mansion, is rated the #1 beach in the world. I forget who whoever rates beaches came out with that recently. You can actually look this up. Hapuna Beach rated #1. Yeah, Hapuna Beach is frequently listed among the best beach in the world. Let me show you this. I'm just pointing out again, while the world burns, my members and I are only getting richer. There's a reason why we bought the Safe Haven asset. You see, this is the #1 beach in the world. Right here where the guards are staying, okay, right over here, this beautiful Mauna Kea paradise is what we own. No bank debt, large cash flows, live your investment, enjoyment, plus you get a suntan. Now keep in mind, Americans with their index funds and ETFs and the stock market closing and collapsing, you can't live your investment at all. You're just going to be watching in pain and suffering as the U.S. government rolls out its Bretton Woods 3.0 reset, which is what Trump is going to do. God bless Trump, but he has no other option at this point. I'm sorry to say there's no other option, which, by the way, was the plan, to reset the system. This is what I've been telling you. They've intentionally blown up the debt for a reason. So, look, my goal is to strengthen our audience, put you on the right side of history, get you prepared to pivot, leverage, and profit to 1000x. Our world-class project is not only defense, since we don't have any bank debt, but it's also massive offense because it participates in cash flows, large capital gains, plus tokenization. So things are negative in the world, but up only for Island Project and my members. So let's talk about briefly where we're headed. So as we close out the end of the year, Deck 2 is about to be launched imminently. We are building into the greatest up-only tokenization event ever in the real-world tokenized asset real estate space, which I invented. Of course, my father and I are the first in the world, Guinness Book of World Records, this is a fact, for the first ever to have ever fractionalized elite beach oceanfront trophy estate homes, beach oceanfront, and also vacation rental type properties. We're the first people in the world to do that with no bank debt. No one else in the world has ever done that. And I want you to keep in mind, we're very proud of that. Very, very proud. You're seeing now copycats emerge, okay, because they understand that number one, they can't compete with us. They just can't because they don't know what they're doing. And they're late because they're like the 10th mover. But they realize that what I've been saying is genius. Just like when I told people to buy Bitcoin under 1,000. Genius. Just like when I first entered social media and quit my job at Merrill Lynch in 2008 and 09. Genius. Notice I always get in the absolute bottoms and then pump it 1000x multiple times, and then we pump the new thing 1000x multiple times. Folks, I'm just speaking plainly and truthfully to you all tuning in. The only reason Americans are headed the wrong direction, not you, because you follow me, is because they've been listening to their government. They've been following instructions from the fake news. They've been doing what they're told, taking Tylenol and developing autism and the suddenlies. That's the only reason they're not doing well, because they've given up on their hopes and dreams. They're not getting rich. Again, I fight for you every single day. I fight as Donald Trump fights. I fight as my father fights to lift you up. And so I remind you today, on this very dark day, I mean, this is what Ray Dalio is saying. I mean, Peter Thiel says straight up, Antichrist. I mean, that's what he's saying, man. I remind you, it's up only. You will overcome evil with me here, okay? The Island Project is a miracle. Love always, always wins. Up only forever, baby. Do you understand? You know, the song I put out earlier is just kind of a fun, upbeat tempo song, but it's just about illuminating love. How the power of God dominates and overcomes all evil. So again, I really encourage you guys, turn off the cesspool that makes up your mainstream media, your divisive, idiotic criminal politicians, your hideous, disgusting insider banking cartel, bailout mafia. Turn those people off. They don't know what they're talking about. Now, we can pray for them. We can pray for all these people, but, it's up to them to come to God. So, as a light worker and somebody who has focused all of his time, all of his money, all of his talents, all of his efforts, literally the lifeblood from God, dedicated his entire life to building the fountain of truth, building the literal multi-billion-dollar Christian powerhouse that is the Island Project and the Digital Noah's Ark, along with my father, Papa John, and my team. Just know that. And know that we prepared like Noah long in advance, that we were instructed by God to build his ark and the Holy Covenant. Deck 2 is the ark of the covenant. We will have a set of new operating agreements and our subscription agreement and other docs. We will be going full-blown public, so understand that too. We had our private placement, the founders round. That's all private. You had to know me. If I don't know you, I can't cash flow you, right? Very private, very special, right? Now we're going public. So I want you to understand that the full-blown marketing behemoth that is AMTV and the Island Project is now about to go mainstream. You're going to see Island Project on every single television screen from every major influencer, from every advertisement in the world, as we tokenize, as we go huge, diamond nuts, because this is what we've built. And this entire roadmap was downloaded by me years ago, right before we declared our 1776, July 4th, 2022. Founders, Deck 2, the Deck 3 public launch, branding, that whole vision, accumulating and buying all these stunning best beach in the world properties with no bank debt, ski lodges, internationalization, and then connecting our worldwide network for private air travel. I've got bids going out on all of that on Learjets right now for members that want that, for my big baller Diamond Nut members, in a private Christian ecosystem that dominates in the new era of the blockchain, stablecoin, Bitcoin, crypto reset. And we're profiting the whole time. The whole time, as this chaos and disruption, Island Project just sails up only. Because we positioned long ago. If you're at my school, you've structured your portfolios. If you've taken my advice, I'm to say not financial advice, because I'm not a loser like your financial advisor who told you not to buy Bitcoin. He drives a Pinto, I drive a Lambo for a reason. Okay? But if you follow my recommendations, you are a winner. Asset allocation, dollar cost averaging, maintaining your big positions in the Apple, Google equivalents of the Bitcoins and the Ethereums and the XRPs, buying these altcoins at incredible discounts today. All of these will be up 20, 30x. Bitcoin itself will be 3 to 5x by the end of the year. Again, the elites like to shake you out before they break you out. That's what they do. At a shake out before the breakout. That's all they're doing now. And also keep in mind, just, have a little peace of mind too, that historically speaking, dude, September, October always typically suck and are a little rocky for the financial markets anyhow. So that typically happens. All right, let me see if I can give you any additional free alpha and then I'll close there. Again, your number one move is the Island Project. That's why it's my largest investment. Your number one move is Island Project. Your number one move is calling my dad at 808-442-2934. Your number one move is buying more Bitcoin based on my recommendations. And joining at school, at the club. That's your number one move. Your number one move, let me show you this, is going to islandproject.com before what Ray Dalio, my good friend, billionaire, tells you is dark times ahead for the United States. Here it is. Buy now. Fill out your apps, a minimum of 200. Fill it all out. We'll keep that in our system, but don't fund yet. Again, Deck 2 is going to be launching imminently. I'm on a series of calls, actually in a few minutes with my team. As we prepare all this, we're dotting the last T's and the I's, getting everything prepped, structured for our major public launch, our tokenization event. Also, acquisitions. We are moving and adding in additional islands now. So I'll be taking you on an incredible mega mansion tour, you'll see, as we will be touring not just Big Island with more acquisitions. We already own on the Big Island. We're buying more. We're now buying giant estate homes. Okay, so Deck 2 is going to buy another 2 to 3 giant mega mansions for all members. All of them which are daily rentals. Massive mega mansions right on the beach. We're also buying more penthouse type condominiums as well with invocation zone ecosystem rentals. No bank debt, of course, none at all. Pure, utter freaking domination. I'm also buying Kauai. I might as well announce that now. I'm buying Kauai too. I'm going to add it as our nether island. Papa John and I will be all over Asia. And I won't reveal all, but also other parts of the world very soon. I have my dad firing up the Learjet very, very soon. Worldwide. Worldwide. Ecosystems for all my Australian investors, my New Zealand investors, so they can get out to places like Bali and Thailand and those beautiful places, Phuket. I mean, you saw our mansion over there. It's ridiculous, right? All that part of the world, Dubai, Singapore, probably put a satellite in Tokyo. That's a very nice place too. It's so fun too. Take that bullet train out to Kyoto. Steve Jobs always loved Kyoto. I took Donut there to Kyoto. We love Kyoto. Like all their pottery and stuff. In fact, that's how Steve Jobs got his idea for the construction of the iPhone. That's why, Steve Jobs was so good with consumer engineering of products. Of physical products. He took a lot of his inspiration from the greatness of Japan, actually, for those of you that don't know. So just understand, as we build out this multi-billion-dollar island project asset class, as Bitcoin and crypto soars to new record highs, as the stablecoin reset and the AI robotic revolution is revealed to the American public, that we're entering a different world now. This is a much more internationalized, diverse, digital ecosystem. You can make all your money online, all your money remotely. You don't have to go into the office anymore. So understand that this whole expat revolution is changing a lot. I mean, even in Hawaii, there's a lot of young people, young families, typically on the wealthier side of things because it is very expensive to live here. I mean, this is the best place in the world, which is why we own all the real estate here, because we have strategic advantage and know-how and 3 generations of ohana. My grandfather used to live here as well, in addition to my dad. So we know these islands like the back of our hand. We know where the best deals are. Most of the properties we buy, for example, aren't publicly listed, so you couldn't buy them on your own. They're all deals that only we know about, that only we and my father have access to. I mean, it's just how it works. Just like all good things in life. I mean, we saw that with Donald Trump, all of his businesses. It's all about relationships. So understand, Island Project is also a relationship. Being connected to me, a winner, and my dad, a literal all-American stud, is also one of the most valuable things you can possibly do. Being a part of our worldwide network here at islandproject.com is a network in addition to a world-class #1 investment and tokenization, future tokenization event. See our intent to tokenize, in addition to cash flows, in addition to up-only cap gains, in addition to no bank debt. So keep that in mind, that the network itself are decentralized compounds, all operating in multiple flagships, Founders, Deck 2, the public launch, tokenization, Deck 3, all integrate into the vision I downloaded from God years and years ago. Now, as BlackRock storms in, as we see them storming into Wall Street, buying Bitcoin, other cryptos, as the hedge funds move in, they only make my investors more rich. And that's how I positioned it. Again, I like to surf, and every wave is different and beautiful and God-given. But the way you get the best wave is being out there with your surfboard before everyone else knows a set is rolling in. And so that's what we've done with Island Project, is all my homeboys and homegirls in the founders round and soon to be deck 2, you're all out there on your surfboard. And now a giant set is coming in, but everyone else, your average dumbed down American, even BlackRock, they're still on the beach. Now they see the sets coming in, we're all getting rich, and they're going to pile drive into the Island Project assets and tokenization of all real world assets and pump us to infinity. That's what we did with Bitcoin, buying it under 1,000 years ago. That's what we did in social media. We're out there before the sets come in, and then we're riding them. So I've said this for years, but the ripple turns into a tidal wave. I love you guys. Jesus Christ is King. I hope you have a wonderful remaining of the day. Again, understand that the world's dark. Your politicians are dark. Washington's dark. I mean, the deep state. Man, Trump has a lot more work to do to gut that place, doesn't he? A lot more work to do to drain that swamp peacefully. There's a lot of bickering online. It's a cesspool. It absolutely is. You live in a banana republic. There's terrible events happening almost daily in the United States. Trust the plan. Again, the question and the thing you need to be doing is, how are you pivoting, leveraging, and profiting from what you know is already going to happen? Collapse of the dollar, more disorder, more disruption, more war, more lockdowns, more hyperinflation, more debt, stable coins, AI, robots. The only thing you should be concerned with is putting your money where your mouth is, your actions where you're, forward, your spiritual power, your economic power, your physical power, your community power, and your church power in the right direction. And then focus on the good things and focus on the truth and focus on Jesus and allow him to move the mountains. Again, don't be like Peter, where all you do is focus on the moving water and drown. Focus straight on Jesus, the digital Noah's Ark, up only. As a beautiful Ingrid was flying by me before this video, giving me a sign from God as I see rainbows almost on the daily here at AMTV and Island Project and the digital Noah's Ark, and on board. Get your ticket. It's that easy. And the way you get that ticket is RSVPing, texting my dad. By the way, I got a message from Larry, and congratulations, Larry. Your number one investment and the number one investment at 1,000 units at Island Project is this. God bless you, sir. We're so excited to be a part of this journey with all of our amazing founders. And also a few quick shout outs, and then we'll close there. But Charles M., I will be reaching out to you. It's taken me a few days. Been really, really busy. Don, Corey, Raymond, I got that upcoming as well. So God bless you. And I'm praying for all of you, and you are all winners and beautiful. Deck 2. Founders 1, completed. Deck 2. These are the peaceful naval warships setting sail right now, building the new America. Understand that. Peace, prosperity, freedom, liberty, Christians, no bank debt, mansions, live your investment, tokenized 1,000x, up only. Up only. I love you all. Jesus Christ is King. I am your general. Stay tuned. I'll keep you tuned on all the geopolitical war, conflicts, financial reset, and of course the dollar collapse, as this is all hitting the world hard, hitting it in your face now. We should all be praying ceaselessly, looking for God for direction, and more importantly, taking action aggressively as Christians, and not burying our heads in the sand and not being apathetic, and simply saying no to the deep state with everything that we do. Our money, our businesses, our families, and our churches. And you can do it all peacefully and very easily. I love you. I've been doing this near 20 years, and it's been incredibly, I would say, the most meaningful thing that I've ever been able to do. Building the island project is the most meaningful thing that I've ever built, along with my team, my father, and you. It has brought complete joy to all of our members, my father and I, our families, our friends, our churches, and Ohana. And we give all glory to God, and I'm very proud to be God's soldier and to submit to him alone and to kneel for nobody and to not be a citizen of this world, but simply a citizen of Christ alone. I will continue to bring truth and fight until he returns. I love you. Have a beautiful day, and watch my fun video too, man. Have some fun today. Watch my fun video I put out on X and help us break to 110K there at AMTV Media, our only official account. Up only, illuminating love.